Did you know that Haiti was the first nation to overthrow slavery successfully? Yet, it was punished for its freedom. Today, we uncover the hidden forces that have kept Haiti from thriving. Let's begin with the land itself, Hispaniola. Hispaniola is one of the largest and most historically significant islands in the Caribbean. Located between Cuba and Puerto Rico, it is the second largest island in the region. But despite sharing the same landmass, the island is home to two very different nations. Haiti on the western side, and the Dominican Republic on the eastern side. Haiti covers about a third of the island, spanning roughly 10,710 square miles. The Dominican Republic occupying the remaining two-thirds. Though they share borders, the contrast between the two nations is striking. The Dominican Republic is often seen as a tourist destination, filled with resorts and a growing economy. Haiti, on the other hand, faces economic struggles and ongoing recovery from natural disasters. But to understand why the island is divided like this, we have to go back to its earliest history. When the Taino people first inhabited the land. Long before European ships arrived on its shores, Hispaniola was home to the Taino people. They lived in villages, farmed the land, fished the waters, and built a society rooted in community and tradition. The Taino people were skilled agriculturalists, growing cassava, maize, and sweet potatoes. They crafted tools from stone and wood, built homes from palm leaves, and navigated the Caribbean in canoes. Their way of life was peaceful, centered around cooperation and respect for nature. That peace ended in 1492, when Christopher Columbus landed on the island, claiming it for Spain. At first, the Taino welcomed the Europeans, offering them food and hospitality. But the Spanish didn't come as visitors, they came as conquerors. Columbus and his men forced the Taino into labor, demanding gold and resources. Those who resisted were met with extreme violence. The greatest weapon the Spanish brought wasn't their swords, it was disease. Smallpox, measles, and other European illnesses spread rapidly, wiping out entire communities. The Taino had no immunity, and within a few decades, their population was nearly gone. Those who survived were enslaved, forced to mine for gold, and build Spanish settlements. Some escaped into the mountains, but they were captured, and over time, their culture was almost completely erased. With the indigenous labor force gone, the Spanish needed a new source of workers to fuel their growing colony. So they turned to Africa. Ships began arriving, carrying enslaved Africans who were forced into horrible conditions. They were made to work in mines, fields, and households enduring the same fate as the Taino before them. This marked the beginning of the transatlantic slave trade, a system that would shape the island's future and create deep divisions that still exist today. As Spanish control expanded, Hispaniola became a launching point for Spain's empire in the Americas. After claiming Hispaniola in 1492, Spain ruled the island for more than a century, naming it La Española. It became a key part of Spain's growing empire, a hub for exploration and conquest in the Americas. The capital, Santo Domingo, was founded in 1496, making it the first permanent European settlement in the New World. But over time, the Spanish lost interest in the island, once the gold ran out. And other colonies like Mexico and Peru became richer, Hispaniola was no longer a priority. As Spanish influence weakened, French pirates and settlers began establishing a presence on the western part of the island. They built settlements, traded goods, and raided Spanish ships. By the 1600s, the French had a strong foothold, and Spain struggled to push them out. Instead of continuing to fight, the two nations reached an agreement. In 1697, the Treaty of Ryswick officially divided the island. Spain kept the eastern side, which remained known as Santo Domingo, now the Dominican Republic. France took control of the western side, renaming it Saint-Domingue, now Haiti. This division, which shaped the future of both nations, setting them on vastly different paths. Under Spanish rule, Santo Domingo focused on the economy and cattle ranching, and small-scale farming, with relatively few enslaved people compared to other colonies. The Spanish elite lived comfortably, but the colony was not nearly as wealthy as Spain's territories in South America. The French, in stark contrast to the Spanish, envisioned Saint-Domingue as a highly profitable colony. The wealthiest colony in the Caribbean and one of the most profitable in the world. The island's fertile land and perfect climate made it ideal for sugar production, and the French wasted no time turning it into a plantation machine. Sugar, coffee, and indigo became the backbone of the colony, fueling France's economy at the expense of human suffering. By the late 1700s, Saint-Domingue produced 40% of the world's sugar and half of its coffee, making France incredibly wealthy. But that wealth came at a terrible human cost. The plantation system was one of the most horrific in history, with the French importing hundreds of thousands of Africans to work from sunrise to sunset. They toiled in sugarcane fields under intense heat, processing the harvest in dangerous mills. Extreme labor and hunger resulted in devastatingly short lifespans. Historical records indicate that the French colonial system focused heavily on the continuous importation of African laborers to maximize production, rather than focusing on their long-term well-being. The colony's society was built on strict racial and class divisions. At the top were the Grands Blancs, wealthy white plantation owners who controlled the economy and government. Below them were the gens de couleur libres, free people of color, many of mixed African and European ancestry. Some of them were wealthy landowners, and even owned enslaved people themselves. But they were still denied full rights. At the very bottom were the enslaved Africans, who made up the majority of the population, and had no rights and no future under French rule. How did the French Revolution inspire the Haitian Revolution? By the late 1700s, change was coming. In 1789, the French Revolution erupted in Europe, spreading the ideas of liberty, equality, and fraternity. While revolutionaries in France fought against their monarchy, enslaved and free black people in Saint-Domingue began to demand their own freedom. The gens de couleur libres argued that if white Frenchmen deserved equality, so did they. But for the enslaved, words weren't enough. They wanted action. Tensions boiled over. The colony was on the verge of war, and it was only a matter of time before the oppressed would rise up against their oppressors. The French had built an empire on the backs of enslaved Africans, but they had underestimated the strength of the people they had tried to keep in chains. A revolution was about to begin, one that would shake the world. In 1791, the fire of revolution ignited in Saint-Domingue. After centuries of enslavement, cruelty, and injustice, the people rose up. It began with Boukman Dutty, a priest and one of the enslaved leaders. In a secret ceremony, he and others swore an oath to fight until they were free. Days later, plantations burned, enslaved people took up arms, and the Haitian Revolution had begun. The French forces responded with extreme power, determined to crush the uprising. But the revolutionaries weren't just fighting the French. Seeing an opportunity, Spain and Britain also got involved, hoping to take Saint-Domingue for themselves. The island became a battlefield, with multiple armies clashing for control. Amidst the chaos, one leader rose above the rest, Toussaint Louverture, a former enslaved man. He was a brilliant strategist who understood both warfare and politics. At first, he allied with the Spanish against the French. When France abolished slavery in 1793, he switched sides, fighting alongside the French to drive out the British and Spanish forces. His victories secured the end of slavery in Saint-Domingue, but true independence was still far away. Then came Napoleon Bonaparte. By 1802, he wanted to reclaim the colony and restore slavery. He sent thousands of French troops to Saint-Domingue, hoping to retake control. But Louverture and his generals fought back fiercely, though the French eventually captured Louverture through deception and sent him to a cold prison in France, where he expired in 1803. But this dream of freedom lived on with Jean-Jacques Dessalines. He was determined, knowing that if the French regained power, slavery would return. In November 1803, his forces defeated the French at the Battle of Vertières, delivering the end, and the war was over. On January 1, 1804, Dessalines declared independence for Haiti, making it the first free black republic in the world. The enslaved had overthrown their enslavers, defeating one of the most powerful empires of the time. After declaring independence in 1804, Haiti stood as the first free black republic in the world. But freedom did not bring stability. The country faced isolation, economic hardship, and internal divisions. Jean-Jacques Dessalines, Haiti's first leader, declared himself emperor, determined to secure the nation's survival. He seized land from white elites and distributed it among former enslaved people, a move that angered the mixed race class, who had hoped to maintain their wealth. In 1806, Dessalines was unalived, and Haiti split into two rival governments. In the north under Henri Christophe, and in the south under Alexandre Pachen. Meanwhile, on the eastern side of Hispaniola, things were different. The Dominican Republic did not yet exist. The Spanish had briefly regained control of Santo Domingo, but their rule was weak, and the colony was struggling. Seeing an opportunity to unify the island and protect Haiti from European threats, Haitian President Jean-Pierre Boyer invaded Santo Domingo in 1822, bringing the entire island under Haitian rule. For 22 years, Haiti controlled both sides of Hispaniola. Boyer abolished slavery in the east, but his rule was unpopular among Dominican elites, who resented Haitian control. By 1844, the resentment reached its breaking point. Dominican revolutionaries, led by Juan Pablo Duarte, and the Trinitarios movement, launched the Dominican War of Independence. After years of fighting, Haiti withdrew, and the Dominican Republic was officially established. From that point forward, Haiti and the Dominican Republic developed separately. The Dominican Republic maintained closer ties to Spain and other European nations, while Haiti remained isolated and burdened by foreign debt. Although Haiti had originally ruled the entire island, it lost any ability to demand financial assistance from the Dominican Republic after losing the war. Haiti's struggles didn't end with losing Santo Domingo. While the Dominican Republic built European ties, Haiti faced isolation. But its greatest burden came next. Foreign powers made sure freedom came at a devastating cost. Haiti's fight for freedom didn't end in 1804. The moment it declared independence, the world turned its back. Instead of being welcomed as a symbol of liberation, Haiti was punished. The biggest blow came from France, which refused to accept the loss of its richest colony. In 1825, King Charles of France made a ruthless demand. Haiti would have to pay 150 million francs in reparations as compensation for the loss of enslaved people and plantations. If Haiti refused, France threatened to invade and re-enslave the population. Haiti had no real choice. To avoid war, President Jean-Pierre Boyer agreed to the payment, believing it was the only way to secure Haiti's sovereignty. But the cost was staggering. Haiti had to borrow from French banks just to make the payments, plunging the nation into crippling debt that took over a century to repay, while other newly independent nations were investing in education, infrastructure, and development. Haiti was trapped in a financial stranglehold, but France wasn't the only one isolating Haiti. The United States, Britain, and Spain all refused to recognize the new Black Republic, fearing that Haiti's revolution would inspire enslaved people in their own territories. Meanwhile, international trade restrictions cut Haiti off from global markets, making it even harder for the country to build a strong economy. The long-term effects of this economic isolation were devastating. While European nations expanded their economies, Haiti struggled to survive. Even after slavery was abolished in other parts of the world, Haiti was still treated as an outcast. Foreign banks controlled Haiti's finances, leaving little room for economic growth. By the time the debt was finally repaid in 1947, Haiti had lost generations of progress. Haiti's independence did not mean it was free from foreign control. The country may have broken its chains in 1804, but outside powers never stopped interfering. The most direct and long-lasting intervention came from the United States, which occupied Haiti from 1915 to 1934. Under the excuse of preventing instability, U.S. troops invaded the country, disbanded the Haitian government, and took over its finances, military, and economy. During the occupation, Haiti's national bank was placed under U.S. control, meaning that Haitian money was no longer managed by Haitians. American companies took over land, businesses, and agricultural production, using Haiti as a source of cheap labor. Forced labor laws were put in place, essentially reintroducing slavery under a different name. Even after the occupation ended in 1934, Haiti never regained full control of its economy. The U.S. handpicked leaders to protect American interests rather than the Haitian people. Each time Haiti tried to build its own path, outside powers stepped in. Sometimes in the name of democracy, sometimes in the name of stability, but always with their own interests first. Haiti's struggles are often blamed on bad leadership, but no leader has ruled Haiti without the shadow of foreign influence looming over them. The country has been used, occupied, and manipulated for over 2 centuries. Haiti has never had a chance to build long-term stability. From the moment it won independence, the country was thrown into a cycle of political chaos, and governments that rose and fell before they could bring real change. Each time a leader tried to strengthen Haiti, they were either overthrown by internal rivals or removed by outside forces. From Jean-Jacques Dessalines being unalived in 1806 to the multiple coups of the 20th and 21st centuries, Haiti has struggled to maintain steady leadership. Some presidents lasted only months before being pushed out. Others held on to power through dictatorship and fear. Frequent leadership changes made stability impossible, while corruption drained Haiti's limited resources. History shows that many leaders stole from Haiti rather than investing in its future. The most notorious were François Papa Doc Duvalier and his son Jean-Claude Baby Doc Duvalier, who ruled for nearly 30 years. Instead of helping the Haitian people, they looted the treasury, built personal wealth, and used militias like the Tonton Macoute to silence opposition. When Baby Doc fled in 1986, he took millions of dollars with him, leaving the country even poorer than before. This constant instability made Haiti a high-risk country for foreign investors. While nearby countries built economies on tourism and trade, Haiti remained isolated, not just because of past debts or foreign interference, but because they claimed no one could trust its government to remain stable. Why is Haiti so vulnerable to natural disasters? Haiti has faced more than just political and economic struggles. It has also been at the mercy of natural disasters. The country sits on a major fault line, making it highly vulnerable to earthquakes, and lies in the path of Atlantic hurricanes, bringing devastating storms year after year. Each disaster wipes out homes, roads, and essential services, leaving the country in a constant state of recovery. One major reason Haiti suffers more from hurricanes than the Dominican Republic is deforestation. Haiti has lost nearly 98% of its forests, leaving the land vulnerable to landslides and severe flooding. In contrast, the Dominican Republic has preserved much of its tree cover, which helps absorb heavy rainfall and reduce storm damage. Without forests to anchor the soil and slow down water runoff, hurricanes hit Haiti with greater force and devastation. The 2010 earthquake was one of the worst disasters in Haiti's history. Striking near the capital, Port-au-Prince. It killed over 200,000 people, left millions homeless, and flattened entire neighborhoods. Hospitals, government buildings, and roads collapsed, trapping survivors under rubble. The destruction was overwhelming, and Haiti, already struggling, lacked the resources to rebuild quickly. Billions of dollars in aid were promised, but much of it never reached the people. Corruption, poor leadership, and foreign mismanagement left thousands stuck in makeshift camps for years. Hurricanes have been just as devastating. Hurricane Matthew in 2016 tore through Haiti, flooding cities, washing away roads, and destroying crops. With weak infrastructure and little disaster preparedness, the damage was always worse than in neighboring countries. Bridges collapsed, leaving towns cut off. Floodwaters spread disease. With each storm, Haiti was pushed further into poverty. One of the biggest challenges is Haiti's poor infrastructure. Many buildings are not built to withstand earthquakes or hurricanes. Roads are poorly maintained, making it hard to deliver aid after disasters. Electricity is unreliable, and clean water is often scarce. Without strong infrastructure, recovery becomes nearly impossible, while other countries rebuild quickly after disasters. Haiti is frequently left struggling for years, still repairing the damage by the time the next disaster strikes. If trade is supposed to help developing nations, why has it only made Haiti more dependent? Haiti's economy hasn't just struggled because of debt and natural disasters. It has also been deliberately weakened by unfair trade policies. Over the years, foreign countries, especially the United States, have pushed policies that have undermined Haiti's local industries, making it nearly impossible for the country to build a strong, self-sufficient economy. One of the biggest blows came in the 1980s and 1990s, when Haiti was pressured by the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank to lower its tariffs on imported goods. The idea was to encourage trade, but instead, it flooded Haiti's markets with cheap foreign products. Haitian farmers, who once supplied the country with homegrown food, suddenly couldn't compete with cheap imports. The best example of this is rice. For most of its history, Haiti grew its own rice, feeding its people and sustaining its farmers. But in the 1990s, under pressure from the U.S., Haiti was forced to slash tariffs on imported rice. Soon, cheap American rice, subsidized by the U.S. government, flooded Haiti's markets. Haitian farmers couldn't compete, and many were forced out of business. Today, instead of producing its own food, Haiti relies on imports for most of its rice, making it vulnerable to global price increases and food shortages. It's not just food. Manufacturing and other industries have struggled due to trade restrictions and unfair competition. While Haiti is forced to accept imports, exporting its own goods has been much harder. Strict regulations, lack of infrastructure, and trade policies that favor wealthier nations have made it difficult for Haitian businesses to sell their products internationally. Instead of growing its own economy, Haiti has been turned into a consumer market for foreign goods, keeping it dependent on outside forces. Trade was supposed to help to develop nations, but in Haiti's case, it did the opposite. It destroyed local industries and made the country more reliant on imports, keeping it trapped in economic hardship. This isn't just history. It's Haiti's present reality. Even though Haiti won its freedom, but the cost was generations of debt, isolation, and interference. True independence is still not won. That's a wrap, history seekers. Getting to the roots is where history comes alive. We uncover the truth about Africa, African Americans, and American history, one story at a time. If you found this powerful story eye-opening, don't stop here. Check out our YouTube playlist, True History Exposed, where we dive even deeper into the stories they never wanted you to know. Thanks for watching. Peace and love.